65-10. All right. Where's the stats at? All right. Georgia takes care of business as expected. They came in as a 53-point home favorite against Charleston Southern. Over-under was 58.5. Georgia pretty much beat that in the first half, but Georgia wins 56-7 over the FCS level Charleston Southern. Charleston Southern isn't that good at all. Let's just be real. They're not even good in the FCS level. Georgia could do pretty much anything they want in this game. This game was never close, as expected, 28-0 in the first quarter. First drive of the game resulted in a pick. Stetson Bennett pass may have been deflected. I think it was, but he just threw it right to the middle linebacker. Other than that, he played fine. I mean, pretty much every quarterback that we put in there looked fine. JT Daniels played pretty much one quarter. Carson Beck played one quarter, and then Brock played pretty much 3 drives. But Georgia wins. Defense looked really good. Again, playing Charleston Southern. Gave up 126 yards. 58 of those were passing. 68 were rushing. Charleston Southern did have the ball a little bit longer. They had 9 first downs. They went 4 for 20 on third downs. It's insane. Went 0 for 1 on fourth downs. Charleston Southern pretty much got shut out, got really lucky with 1 touchdown. Xavier Sorey picked off a pass from, I think it was Chambers. And I guess the ball got stripped out of his hands by a wide receiver. I really don't know all too much on that play. It was complete luck. But hey, other than that, 1 play. In fact, that was the only play offensively. That doesn't even count as an offensive yard at all because it was a fumble, but it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, nothing really much else to say. 56-7. Did not see George Pickens. We did see Dominic Blaylock though. He got a couple catches. In fact, I think he got 1 catch. No, he got 2 catches for 11 yards. Both were passed by Carson Beck. Just looking at the stats, my goodness, we had over 10 players that caught a pass, over 10 players that ran the ball, 4 QBs that passed the ball. Brock Vandergriff only went 0 for 1, but still, man. And then this is very impressive at any level. Georgia held Charleston Southern to 1.6 yards per attempted pass, 2.2 yards per rush, 1.8 yards per play. I mean, geez, it could not ask for a better day for the defense. Offensively did what we had to do, so it is what it is. But yeah, nothing else really to say about this game. You're playing a terrible team. This is the result you're expected to get. Went up 49-0 at half, only scored 7 points in the second half, gave up 7 on a very lucky play. But, I mean, I'm not going to – come on. But Georgia plays Georgia Tech next week. Georgia Tech's getting crushed right now, 17-0 to Notre Dame. That's expected. Notre Dame's a way better team than Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech has been playing terrible all year. This is year, 3 or 4 for Coach Sims. So, I mean, I don't know how much longer he'll be at Georgia Tech for, but he's seemingly doing the same as what he was given. Pretty much our 3, 4, 5 win team. That's pretty much what Georgia Tech has been. And this year they might only win 3 games. But Georgia Tech's a terrible team. Their best player, I would say, offensively is Gibbs, the running back. Even he hasn't really had a great year. I know he's had 600 yards rushing, but there's really not a plus side for a Georgia Tech fan. This is a road game. It's a noon game, road game. It is in Atlanta. Expect a lot of Georgia fans in attendance next week. Nothing really else to say about that game. Georgia should roll. I don't think I'll be doing a post-game video for that one because I don't think I'll be here. But yeah, Georgia will be about, a 38, 40-point road favorite. win by that amount. Georgia hasn't really been covering the past couple games. Georgia now falls to what against? I mean, who cares about the spread, honestly? But Georgia now falls 7-4 against the spread. I think they're just 1-3 in the last 4 or something like that. I mean, I could care less. Georgia's look at the spreads to Georgia games and look at the spreads to every other game. It's night and day. This is how much people in Vegas respects Georgia. They're giving Georgia monster spreads. But anyway, I digress with that. It doesn't matter. Around the country is I haven't asked this question yet, and just to talk about something. Where is this at? Give me a sec here. Okay, well. For anybody who's still watching, I'll ask you this question. But is Georgia the best team in the country? Man, it's close. Ohio State is very, very good. They have that one loss, which is holding them back. Ohio State should be a top 2 team right now. If they didn't have that loss to Oregon, they'd be number 1. I'm going to be real with you. It's really Georgia versus Ohio State is going to be a really good game. If this does end up happening, a lot can happen in the next couple of weeks. Ohio State still has to play 2 top 15 teams in a row, make it 3 because of Michigan State. But more than likely, Wisconsin's going to be there in the top 15. Michigan is going to be there in the top 15. Forget about it. They're not losing today. They'll be in the top 10. Who else is there? But, yeah, I mean, those are their last 2 games. Georgia gets Georgia Tech. So Georgia more than likely gets to 12-0. Georgia's a lock for the playoffs. Ohio State is not because of one loss, but Ohio State is a top 2 team right now. It's between Georgia and Ohio State, the best offense versus the best defense. And Ohio State's defense is probably just as good as Georgia's offense, if we're being real. I mean, this would be one of the best matchups we've seen in a college football playoff game since I would, and this is biased, I would say this would probably be the best matchup since Georgia versus Oklahoma in 2017. Again, that is biased, but still, best offense versus best defense, something that us, college football fans need, quite frankly. But, I could talk all about Ohio State and how good they are. I know this is a Georgia post game, but really, when you think about it, that's a game Georgia, a lot of Georgia fans are looking at, not just me. But, you still got to play Alabama. Alabama plays today in a couple minutes. They play Arkansas. Arkansas runs that 3-3-5 defense, contains the big plays, but gives up a lot of yards. I don't like that defense at all. Like I said, bend but don't break. It's a little bit they're all similar style defenses, but 3-3-5 base scheme just basically says you don't have enough athletes to compete with another team. And, yeah, I get it against Alabama, but you're not going to be able to do this week in, week out, like against even like inferior foes. It doesn't make any sense to me. But, Barry Odom's a really good defensive-minded coach. He showed that at Missouri. He's shown that for the majority of the year. Just think about it. Before the Arkansas-Georgia game, Arkansas was sitting at, I think, number 8 in total defense and number 8 in scoring defense. So they were very, very, very good defensively. And they didn't play bad teams either. They played Texas and Texas A&M. But Texas A&M not the best offensive team, but still, they were top 8 defensively. And then they played Georgia, and then ever since then, it has not been the same. I mean, that you could say that about pretty much every team Georgia has played. But still, how about Clemson's winning today, as I expected? Wake Forest just doesn't match up well with Clemson, in my opinion. But anyway, who else? Who were we talking about? Arkansas. Yeah, Arkansas, Alabama. Alabama will probably win this game. I think it's going to be closer than expected. Listen, I don't think Alabama is on, and this is my personal opinion, I don't think they're on the level of Ohio State or Georgia right now. They're still the 3rd best team in the country. But there is a pretty significant gap. Wow, drop. But there is a pretty significant gap between Georgia, Ohio State, and Alabama, or really the third best team, whoever you want to plug in at 3. If you think Oregon's better than Alabama, fine. I don't, but there's actually people that do. I still don't think Ohio or Oregon would beat Georgia or Ohio State, even with that road win against Ohio State in week 2. Ohio State is a completely different team. So Cincinnati, a lot of people love Cincinnati. There are people that actually think they're going to lose today, but Cincinnati is not on Georgia's or Ohio State's level. I wouldn't even think they're on the level of Bama. If you made me rank teams in tiers, I would probably have Georgia and Ohio State in their own tier, then probably Alabama in their own tier, then everyone else. Who do I mean by everyone else? Well, I think Ole Miss, Oregon, Oklahoma State, maybe even Oklahoma, Cincinnati. Who am I missing? Notre Dame, that's 6. I would have all those teams in Michigan as well. I would have all those teams in that tier, in tier 3. Because I think all those teams are pretty evenly matched. I think Alabama's a little bit better than those teams. And I think Georgia and Ohio State are a lot better than those teams. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Georgia dominated a pretty bad team as expected. Georgia controlled the game from start to finish. They just have way better athletes, just a way better team. There's nothing really to say about that. But yeah, Georgia plays Georgia Tech next week. I hope Georgia wins by 100 points. I'm not a big Georgia Tech fan. There are some people that hate Georgia Tech the most for just talking about fans. Put it in a fan's perspective. I don't think I hate Georgia Tech the most. I might, out of all Georgia's rivals, I might actually hate Georgia Tech the most. I hope we beat Georgia Tech by a lot. There are some years that, go back to 2019, Georgia Tech was, I wouldn't say they were turning things around, but they were a little bit better than the year prior. Oklahoma just gave up a 4th down and 7. Anyway, and Georgia's offense was bottom tier in the SEC, and Georgia's offense still scored 52 points. No, was it 52? Yeah, I think it was 52 against Georgia Tech on the road. But I expect Georgia to roll in this game. I expect multiple quarterbacks to play, multiple strings to play in this game. Will George Pickens play? We saw him in pregame. He was warming up. He looked fine to me. He did not play in this game, but he might play against Georgia Tech. We'll see. I don't think he'll be thrown in against Alabama. That would make 0 sense to me. With 0 reps, 0 in-game reps, that would make 0 sense to me. But hey, what do I know? But yeah, Alabama, if we want to, I guess we can talk about Alabama game real quick. I know it's early, but still, like I said, Alabama's probably going to be there. Let's just be real here. Are they losing 2 games in a row? No, come on. But anyway, Georgia versus Bama. I'm excited for this matchup. I hope Alabama wins out. I know there's a lot of Georgia fans that hope Bama loses every week, blah, blah. No, I hope Alabama's sitting there in the top 3. I think from what I've seen, Ohio State should jump Alabama. I've been saying Ohio State's at worst the second best team in the country since like week 7. They should be ahead of Alabama for sure. But that Oregon game, but Oregon might lose tonight, so it might not even matter. But Alabama should be in the top 3. I hope they're in the top 3 by December 6th, 7th, whenever this game's played, 4th, 3rd, something like that. First week in December, first Saturday of December. I hope Alabama's sitting there undefeated. I think they will. I think they'll take care of business against Arkansas, against Auburn. Auburn's now without Bo Nix. We'll see how much that means today. They go on the road against South Carolina. Auburn should win that game. But anyway, Auburn is not that good of a team. Arkansas, I think, is a little bit better than Auburn, especially right now. But Auburn also beat them. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, I hope Alabama's 11-1. But looking into this game, Bryce Young, if you've been watching some of Alabama's games this year, watch the Texas A&M game, watch some of the Florida game, watch some of the LSU game. Bryce Young does not do well against pressure, and especially when you put a lot of heat on the outside. A&M was bringing a lot of corners on third downs to get to the QB. Antonio Johnson, that's number 27 on Texas A&M. He's their slot corner, one of the best, probably one of the most underrated slot corners in the entire country, and even one of the most underrated corners. He's been pretty solid all year, but he was getting a lot of pressure on the outside. A&M, who's their defensive coordinator? I'm drawing a blank on who their defensive coordinator is. I literally had it in my head for a second. But anyway, their defensive coordinator did a really solid job on disguising the blitz packages, and Dan Lanning has shown this year that he can get to the QB. So I think Georgia would have some success. I'm not going to say a lot of success, but getting pressure on Bryce Young. Go back to the Clemson game. We had 7 sacks in that game. Obviously, Clemson's offensive line is nowhere near as good as Alabama's, but Kentucky's offensive line was really good. Georgia got pressure on Will Levis. A lot of those plays for Kentucky, though, were quick passing routes. But anyway, go to the Arkansas game. Arkansas has a really good offensive line, but Georgia was getting to KJ Jefferson. I think they had 4 or 5 sacks in that game. But anyway, Georgia will get to the QB, Bryce Young, and then offensively, the difference will be Georgia's offense. Is Stetson Bennett good enough to beat Alabama? I think yes. I've seen Stetson Bennett improve this year. Yes, he's not let's be real here, he's not the ideal starter for UGA. Everyone wants JT Daniels, probably including me, but still, he's been able to make some plays, and a lot of the plays have been made by the wide receivers, by the tight ends, by the offensive line, by the running backs, but still, he's been using the talent around him to make himself look better. And I think Georgia, coming into this game, will win this game. I think Georgia's just a better team than Alabama. Like I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, top to bottom, they're just a better team. Defensively, obviously, Alabama's defense, on the other hand, has been very inconsistent. They've struggled at times. They've come up short at times. Against Texas A&M, looked very, very bad in that passing defense. Made Calzada look pretty good. Against Florida, the Florida game was a huge question mark on that interior defense and Alabama's interior defense. But still, and then, the LSU game, they played fine. What's another? Tennessee. Tennessee's a good offensive team, so I can't really say too much. But inconsistencies with Alabama's defense has been kind of an issue this year. And they're pretty much single-handed at running back. Brian Robinson's a very good running back. He's going to have to have the best game of his life and then some. But anyway, 99% certainty if Bama loses to Arkansas and Auburn, then it's a There's a, let's be real here, there's a 0% chance that Alabama loses too. I just don't see it happening. But anyway, back to the Alabama-Georgia game. I would take Georgia right now. I think Georgia would probably be a couple points favored, and I would probably lay those points. I really trust Kirby Smart this year. But anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed to both channels, the SEC channel at The Voice at College Football, the Georgia football channel at Voice of College Football. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you're still watching. Who do you guys think is going to win? I know this game's in a couple of weeks, and yet it is not really finalized because Alabama still has to win basically today, which I'm pretty sure they will. But who do you guys think is going to win, Georgia or Bama? I know all the Georgia fans, including myself, think Georgia's going to take care of business against Alabama, but I am seeing a lot of people just don't trust Kirby Smart and don't trust Stetson Bennett and expect Bama to go in Atlanta and win the game. Anyway, let us know. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. So peace out, guys. Have a good one and go